Okay, I keep getting interrupted, but not anymore. I had to do not disturb some folks. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Vandy, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to go from these eyebrows to these brows. I'm also going to be showing you how to fill them in. So if you want to see how to get the eyebrows you dreamed of, make sure you stay tuned. So I moved in a little bit closer so you can get a better look at what I'm working with here. These are basically what my eyebrows look like after about a week of not trimming them. I usually do this about once a week just so that I'm not constantly covering up stray hairs when I'm doing my makeup. And as you can see, I don't have much I'm working with here. So all I'm going to be doing today is just cleaning them up and basically just making sure that I am sticking to my natural eyebrow shape. So tools you're going to need is a pair of tweezers. You're also going to need a pair of small scissors. Other thing that I'm going to be using is a hand razor. So it's just a little small straight razor you'll see at any beauty supply store. They usually have them up at the counter. You're also going to need a spoolie of some sort to help brush out those hairs. The spoolie that I'm using is actually on the end of my eyebrow pencil. So if you don't know what a spoolie is, that's what it looks like. So let's get started. First things first, I'm going to clean off my eyebrows using a makeup wipe. Then I'm gonna go in with my spoolie and brush them out upwards. First thing I'm going to do is clean up the bottom of my brows. Taking my razor, I'm going to take just the tip of it and scrape it along the hairs that I want removed from the bottom. Brushing up those hairs all out of the way. I'm checking that line to make sure I've removed all of the little hairs. Now if there is a small hair, for example this one right here, I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm just going to pluck it out. I think I'm happy with how that's looking now. As you can see, I didn't do much work at all, just making sure to use the very tip of that razor to get the job done. I'm now going to brush all the hairs down. This is going to expose the hairs on the top line that I want removed. And there are the hairs I want removed off the top line. Again, taking my razor and the small section here at the tip, I'm just going to lightly razor off the hairs at the top that I don't want shown anymore. And if you notice your skin is starting to dry a little bit, just take that same makeup wipe and wipe it down again. You want to make sure that your skin is nice and moisturized when you're doing this razoring process because it will dry it out. Bring those hairs back down. I'm going to take the longer part of the razor and just kind of push down to the point where I want the brow to stop on the top. Just basically cleaning up that larger space there. And there we go. I am pretty much done for the most part. I could actually go out and be done with this eyebrow. But if you want to take it a step further and do some cleanup, we're going to go in and do a little bit more cleanup with our scissors. I'm going to brush them all the way up again. And as you can see, now I have little hairs that are popping up over that line. See that line that we created on the top there? I have little hairs that are popping up right now. So now this is where my scissors come in handy. I'm just going to take my scissors and place one of the ends flat against my skin, lining it up with the line on the top of my eyebrow. And then I'm just going to snip, lining that bottom up with that top lash line that we created, and then snip. Brushing them up again. See those little sparse hairs? Placing my scissors flat, snip. Now when I brush them up, they are all in line with the line that I created. As you can see, I don't have very thick eyebrows, so I am just basically, I make it do what I can do. I get a shape that I'm comfortable with, that I can easily follow when I'm filling them in. Brushing up again. And snip. Brushing up again. And snip. Easy peasy, right? And snip. Snip, snip. Bam. So I do have sparse spaces in them, so that's why you see a dip right here. I was wondering one day, I noticed something that was really reoccurring. Every person in my family has some kind of a scar on their eyebrow. And 9 times out of 10, it happened when they were toddlers or kids running somewhere and they just bam, bust their head right into something. My son has one, my husband has one, I have one from right here, which is why I have a sparse space there. But I think my brother has one too, and I thought it was just, I don't know if it's just my family or is it everybody? Like, has everybody at least one time bust their eye open and messed up their eyebrow and there's a scar there or something there that you cannot fix? Like, I just want to know. Comment in below. I don't know if it's just my family or we crazy or what. I don't know, but we just cannot keep control of our heads for some reason, especially in the early ages. So yeah, I thought that was a funny observation, but yeah, that is pretty much for the most part why I have a sparse space right here. I always have to fill that spot in because hair don't really grow there ever since I was a kid. When I brush up and when I brush down, now my eyebrows aren't really going anywhere. If you want to take it even one more step further, you can brush down and clean up any hairs. Same way, using the scissors. Flat up against, and then just bam. Let's look at how far we've come. So, this is my new clean eyebrow. As you can see, it is following the shape of my brow bone and the natural shape of the way the hair grows. This is my other eyebrow, looking a little unruly and not so shapely. So this is gonna last me probably about a week and a half, 10 days, sometimes it's 2 weeks, depending on how diligent I am about cleaning up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eyebrow. So that is it for the brows. This is what I'm working with. As you can see, this one is thicker than this one, and that is normal, people. If you got people all up in your face with a measuring stick or a ruler, checking to see if your brows are completely symmetrical, they don't need to be your friend, girl. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say that. They don't need to be your friend because it ain't that serious. Nowadays, I've noticed that 80–90% of my clientele, they don't want the Instagram brow where it's like stamped on there and ombre out. They want their brows as natural as possible. So this is the base that I'm working with. I'm gonna move on to filling them in. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill in my natural brows to make them a little bit more prominent so that when I am taking pictures, they do show up a little bit better. So today you can use a number of different things. You can use, you know, a brow pomade, you can use a brow powder, but my tool of choice is the brow pencil. So today I'm going in with my Absolute New York brow pencil. It has 2 ends. It has a pencil on one end that turns up, and it also has a spoolie on the other end, which is the same spoolie that I was using before. This is in the color Smoke, and a lot of people, depending on their hair color, their skin type, their skin tone, most people want a dark brown or a medium brown. I am going in with the color Smoke, which is more of a ashy brownish black color. And as you can see, most brow pencils are very, very, very small. And that's so that you can have better control and you can work in small strokes. I'm going to be filling in this brow because it is not the thickest of the two. I'm going to start by outlining the bottom. Same steps as we did before. I'm starting with the bottom and working my way to the top. I'm going to outline the bottom with my pencil. And I'm going to do that using very, very small strokes. Starting at the point where I want my brow to start. And using a very light hand, I am following the bottom line of my brow. And you can bring that point out as far as you want or as close as you want. Typically, you want that point to be in line with your nose, the corner of your eye, and the tip. You see that line I'm making there? Now, starting with the top, this is a trick that I learned years ago on YouTube. It was a makeup artist. He was a male, but I cannot remember his name to save my life. I want to say he was the same makeup artist that was on What Not to Wear years ago, black guy. If I can find his information, I'm going to link it below because I learned this trick from him years ago and I have never strayed away from it. It has worked like a charm every single time. So, starting on the top, I am not going to start here. I'm going to start in the middle because the concept is that your brow should always be a little bit more darker and thicker from the middle on out. So I'm going to start in the middle to start carving out the top of my brow. Bam. Done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fill in from where I started at the top all the way down here. Starting in sections like this reduces the amount of mistakes you're going to make. Trust me, it works. It's foolproof. I can do it. Anybody can do it. I'm just saying. Anyways. Still using small strokes. And I'm just filling in the spaces. And you can make this as light or as dark as you want, but today I'm going for a natural look. The outer 2/3 of my eyebrow is done. Finito. I'm not gonna mess with it no more. No. Because the more you mess with it, the more you're gonna have to clean up mistakes. I'm telling you, that is what happens. Moving on to the front third, I'm just going to lightly start from the bottom of that line, and I'm going to flick my pencil up, creating small, tiny strokes. And if that line gets too harsh, what I do is I'll take my spoolie, and the spoolie will move that product around for you and soften up that line. Bam! Look at her. She done, girl. She done. She is done. She is done. I don't even think I gotta clean up with concealer on the bottom. No. This is an everyday brow situation. Period. So I'm gonna go on to this eyebrow. I won't have to do as much work with it because it is thicker. As you can see, they are not perfectly, in a line and in order and, geometrically, mathematically together, but they are close enough. So let's take a look at the before and the after. All right, so that's it for the brows today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give me a big thumbs up. It will help me out so much. If you have any questions about today's video, be sure to leave your comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There's a little button down there with a bell next to it. Click that bell and you won't miss none of my uploads. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I also am very active on Instagram, so don't forget to follow me on Vandy Vanity. I'll catch you in the next video. Love you, bye.